Anyway, you have a November Man. This is a decent espionage action thriller with Pierce Brosnan. You know, you can do worse. You could totally do worse, but you could also do better. Wasn't bad. Nebraska. So, this is a movie directed by Alexander Payne, who did Sideways and The Holdovers. He did a film about a guy who won a lottery ticket and he's trying to claim his money. Yeah, that's basically what it is. I don't have much to complain about. It's decent, but I only saw this movie once, so I'm not gonna claim anything. Next, we have A Nativity Story. So this is a film about the birth of Jesus. And it's done pretty well. It's done well. You have Oscar Isaac as Joseph, and I'm blanking on who the woman's name was, but she played Mother Mary. The guy who played King Herod, is it Herod? I want to get this right. Uncle Herod, yeah. Uncle Herod, anyway. Yeah, King Herod. Anyway, Cassia Castle Hughes, yeah, that was her name. She did a good job playing Mother Mary. Anyway, yeah, this wasn't bad. Wasn't bad at all. But next up, we have Nosferatu, the oldest surviving Dracula film directed by F.W. Murnau. This is amazing. I actually watched this last year, and oh my god, is this movie a masterpiece. Absolutely a masterpiece. Yes, this is an adaptation of Dracula, though the names and situations are a little different. This movie made a huge impact when it first came out in 1922, and it still intrigues people to this day. Very inspiring film, and very inspiring film in the world of horror, and it's absolutely brilliant. So if you can only watch, like, if there are 10 Simon films I could recommend to you, this is one of them. This is another one, Night of the Living Dead, but that's not a Simon film. But that is one of the best horror films ever made, I'll get back to that in a little bit. We have My Fair Lady, Best Picture winner in 1964. The adaptation of the Werner and Will musical with Audrey Hepburn and Rex Harrison, reprised his role from the Broadway musical and won an Oscar to boot. And yeah, it's just a very simple story about a peasant flower girl who gets turned into an elegant lady by Professor Higgins, played by Rex Harrison. And it's just a really delightful film. Again, I was raised on these musicals, so I would know. But yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen that one. So, and then here's another great one, My Left Foot. Daniel Day-Lewis won an Oscar for portraying Chastity. I'm blanking on his last name. Chastity Brown. Yeah, he was born with cerebral palsy, and he basically inspired people by, through his movements, and he was basically a very inspiring person. And Brenda Flicker won a Best Supporting Actress for portraying his mom, I believe. Yeah, he was born with cerebral palsy, and he can only use his left foot. Yeah, I remember now. Okay. Yeah, but it's just a really great film. Excellent film. Haven't seen it in a long time, though. But yeah, Daniel Day-Lewis, oh my god. Great actor. Absolutely amazing actor, for sure. And I actually just saw a movie with him last week called In the Name of a Father. I wouldn't even know it was him. He was that good. But do you want to know what his best performances are? His best performances were that, My Left Foot, Lincoln, in which he won another Oscar, and his second Oscar win, There Will Be Blood. I haven't seen The Age of Innocence yet, so let me know how that is. Nashville. I'm sorry, guys, but I just wasn't the biggest fan of this one. Don't get me wrong, I love Robert Altman. He's one of my favorite directors. But the problem I have with this movie is every single character in this movie doesn't even have an introduction, so we don't even know who anyone is. And that just really infuriates me. I'm not really a fan of that at all. It's just, I do want to give it another whirl. I do. I don't know. And the Criterion Edition is long out of print, and super expensive, and I think the Paramount Presents one's out of print as well. So yeah, Nashville, I do want to give it another chance. I do, because I love Robert Altman, but I couldn't even finish it. Like, I got through, like, maybe 30 minutes, and I was just, like, done. But Natural, with Robert Redford, never one of these, like, baseball movies, but, actually, I haven't seen this one yet. Yeah, I have not seen this one yet, but I heard good things about it. Napoleon Dynamite. So, I don't know why I have this movie. I honestly don't know why. I don't know why I have this movie. I've never even seen it. You know? I have not even seen this movie. I have no, like, collection of this movie. What is this? Beaufort Pedro? I have no idea what this movie is. I have seen Misfo, the Naked Gun trilogy. I've only seen the first Naked Gun film, but I absolutely loved. But I thought that was a pretty funny movie. All three of them have Wesley Nielsen, and the first one was good. And I have not seen the other two: Naked Gun 2.5, The Smell of Fear, and Naked Gun 33 1/3, The Final Insult. Naughty Moretta. This was the first Jeanette MacDonald and Nelson Eddy movie that was made in 1935. It also has a Wizard of Oz connection, Frank Morgan. And I still don't remember the name of that one movie. Next we have a TCM Natalie Wood set. So this has Gypsy, the musical about Gypsy Rose Lee, Sex and a Single Girl with Tony Curtis, Splendor in the Grass, Warren Beatty's first film, and directed by Elia Kazan, and Inside Daisy Glover, which I've seen Gypsy, but I have not seen the other ones, so if anybody knows who that is, let me know. Natural Born Killers. Okay, this one. You know, I'm not the type of person that watches, like, dark stuff all the time. Some people like dark stuff, but not particularly me. See, my problem is, you know, if I'm going to watch something dark, like, let's say, if I had to watch something like this again, or just really anything that involves, like, dark subject matter, I have to be in the right mindset, because if I'm, like, if I'm feeling down, or if I'm, like, not in a good mood, I'm not going to enjoy them. I'm not going to see where they're going with the story. I'm not going to see, like, what's the purpose for it, you know what I mean? Like, I want to try and understand where they're coming from, because Natural Born Killers does have a message. It does. It does have a message. It's not all style and violence. It's actually a film about violence in general. You know, people who commit the violence and those who are obsessed by it. And, you know, it does have pretty important significance. But the problem is, again, it's not going to appeal to everybody. That, I think, is the one problem. It's, you know, not everyone's going to sit and watch a film about violence with, like, I'm going to watch a movie about violence. No, they may be shocked. You know, the movie does deal with violence in society, as well as the media. And it does a good job, but I've only seen it once. National Treasure. This was during the time when Bruckheimer and Disney were basically on a roll, creating, like, movies that normally wouldn't work, but somehow this one ended up working. Because you have Nicolas Cage trying to be, like, in the words of R. Meg 21, National Geographic trying to be Indiana Jones. Yeah, he's right on that to a degree, but John Voight's in here as well. Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen this, but I remember pretty enjoying this one, to be honest. I don't remember if I ever saw the second one, Book of Secrets. I don't remember if I ever saw that one. But, yeah, National Treasure's good. The Negotiator. Never say no in a hostage situation. You have Samuel Jackson, Kevin Spacey. This is great. This is a great movie. Kevin Spacey trying to stop Samuel L. Jackson, who's holding people hostage. It's great. Yeah, sorry about the shaking, guys. It's actually really uncomfortable down here. But Never Ending Story. This is a movie I can't watch anymore because of one scene. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I know this is an 80s classic. I just can't find the courage to actually sit down and watch it. This was autographed by Noah Hathaway, who plays Atreyu in the film. Yeah, that's him right there. I asked him, "Hey, weren't you in the sequel?" And he said, "No, some other guy played him." And yeah, he was a pretty nice guy when I met him, and it was pretty cool. But anyway, yeah, but Never Ending Story. I've heard, like, you know, I do want to give us another whirl sometime, but I just can't watch this because of that scene. Network, one of my favorite movies. This is one of my favorite films of all time. This is a film, basically, it's a satire on news journalism. It's a satire on newscasters. So you have Peter Finch as a crazy guy suffering a mental breakdown live on air, not once but twice, and he basically inspires his viewers to be mad as hell. You have William Holden as the head of the news station, who he wants to keep everything in line. Faye Dunaway as a analyst who she wants to exploit Peter Finch's mass hysteria, and Robert Duvall is basically a guy who doesn't really care one way or the other. This is a fantastic, fantastic movie. Oh my god, I love this movie. And not to mention, like, it's very reminiscent. It's still relevant even now. You have Oscar-winning performances by Peter Finch and Beatrice Straight, who's only in the film for 15 minutes. I believe she's William Holden's wife, I believe. I could be wrong, though. But yeah, great Oscar-winning screenplay. It's not just funny, but it's also one of those movies that makes you think. Like, it's one of those movies that, like, actually makes you think, you know, about news journalism and news reporting and everything, and it's just fantastic. I love Network. Never a Dull Moment. Why doesn't anybody know this one too? Oh my god, there's several Disney movies. There's many Disney movies that people know, and then there's all these other ones that, like, people just forget about. This is one of them, and it's so sad because it's hilarious. Dick Van Dyke plays a guy who's essentially done, like, TV stuff, and an art thief, I believe. He gets involved with art thieves. But yeah, oh my god, this movie's so funny. Why doesn't people know this one? Oh my god, this is great. Really funny. It's much like Lieutenant Robinson Crusoe USN, where it's just underrated comedy, and it's just brilliant. New York, New York. I don't remember this one at all. I don't remember that one. I don't know that one. I don't know. So, did Martin Scorsese direct this? Yes, he did. This Nicholas Sparks collection. So this has 4 of his movies that were once popular novels turned movies. So you have The Notebook, which is pretty good, all things considered. Knights of Rodanthe, which is a decent little movie with Richard Gere and Diane Lane. The other 2 I have not seen, Message in a Bottle and A Walk to Remember. Now, let me explain something about Nicholas Sparks. I like a good romance film every once in a while. I think it's great, because you need to have variety in your life. You need to. But here's the thing. Nicholas Sparks, like, he writes the same love story over and over and over again. He never mixes it up at all. The Notebook, A Walk to Remember, Message in a Bottle, Knights of Rodanthe, The Last Song, The Lucky One. Oh my god, he writes the same stuff constantly. You know? Like, he writes the same stuff over and over again. And it's like, come on, Nicholas Sparks, do something, like, mix it up a little. You know, look at Stephen King. He writes horror and drama. And he's also written thrillers as well. So, I'm not saying he needs to change genres. I'm saying that he needs to like throw in some twists and turns in his romance stories or something. Night of a Museum. I love this movie. This is one of the best family films out there. Certainly one of the better ones for sure. You have a great cast. You have Ben Stiller, Robin Williams as Theodore Roosevelt. You have Dick Van Dyke, Mickey Rooney. You have I'm blanking on her name right now. Yeah, this movie is just really good. This movie is great because like this is such a funny idea. What happens to museum artifacts when the doors close? Like what happens when the door closes for the night? So what happens to these exhibits? And it's just fantastic. So you have the T-Rex who acts like a dog. You have Robin Williams as Teddy Roosevelt. You have Sacagawea. You have the Attila the Hun. You have the Easter Island head. You have the monkey. Oh God, that monkey. You have Owen Wilson. Owen Wilson's in here. Yes, I forgot about that. Oh God. Owen Wilson's in here. Really great examination of it's very imaginative too. It's a very imaginative film, which is probably the reason why I didn't like the other two films. Night and Day. This is the other Cole Porter movie that I was telling you about. This is the one that is kind of a shame that it's here because DeLovely was way better. And what's strange about this is that you have a great cast. Cary Grant, Alexis Smith, and and the movie was directed by Michael Curtiz, one of my favorite directors. I have no idea why the movie is like this, but whatever. Night of the Hunter. Oh, yes. This is one of my favorites right here. Oh, dear Lord. This is amazing. Criterion number 541. Now, Robert Mitchum's most terrifying performance is directed by a well-known actor, Charles Lawton, and the movie is essentially it like has the feel of a silent film. It has that feel, like the production is very top-notch. The production value is high here. The acting by Robert Mitchum and Shelley Winters is amazing. You have a very mysterious but also very creepy atmosphere. You have also I don't want to talk about Robert Mitchum's performance too much because I'll spoil it, but let's just say he is so hypnotic. Oh my God. The idea behind it too is really clever. And I don't want to spoil it, but this is one of my favorites. And let's go back to Night of the Living Dead for a minute. Night of the Living Dead is a landmark horror film, primarily because of the fact that it literally rewrote the rules of how zombies acted and behaved. Because before, they were basically just hypnotized. Now they are the undead, basically, and how they basically consume flesh in order to thrive. And this was when George Romero wrote this, he was essentially he was very imaginative with how zombies should be written. And now, we wouldn't have had Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, the 1979 film Zombie. We wouldn't have had The Walking Dead. We wouldn't have had even Last of Us if they weren't inspired by Night of the Living Dead. This is a really cool movie. I've seen this many times. And speaking of which, this movie has been released many times. This was put out by Elite Entertainment, which is a pretty good release. I also would suggest there's this one DVD that was put out in 2008, so check that out. Let me take that out for a minute because it's a little tight. I also would recommend this release, and the Criterion edition. So, any one of those three are good releases. Any other ones, avoid. A Nightmare on Elm Street. Speaking of which, I should really put this under A, because it's A Nightmare on Elm Street, I know some people don't do that, like some people don't put A's in the first, but I do. I've never seen anybody say don't do that. Anyway, yeah. Nightmare on Elm Street. Speaking of great horror, we have one of the greatest horror icons, Freddy Krueger. Someone who stalks people in their dreams. And the idea of dreams being like very imaginative, dealing with unconscious thoughts and how, you know, it can like turn on us, and that idea, the idea of unconscious fear is a really clever idea. And not to mention you have Robert Englund's iconic performance as Freddy Krueger, and yeah, I have seen that. I have not seen the sequels, which is funny. Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. I do want to get that box set that has all of them, because I don't have those. And yes, I did see the remake. It was... meh. 9. This is the film adaptation of the Broadway musical 9, which was based on the Federico Fellini film 8½. And if you know 8½, then you know the story already. But basically, if you don't, film director is trying to make a movie, but he's haunted by the women, all the women in his life, past and present. Daniel Day-Lewis, Marion Cotillard, Oscar-nominated performance by Penelope Cruz, Sophia Loren, Fergie, Kate Hudson, Nicole Kidman, Judi Dench. Yeah, again, Rob Marshall knows what he's doing here. He did Chicago, and now this, so good job. I don't know why I have this. I don't know why I have this movie. I don't have any idea. This is one of those movies that I blind bought and I've never seen. And I probably won't watch this. I don't know. I don't know why I do that, but 9 Months is Hugh Grant. Noah. A film about Noah's Ark, directed by Darren Aronofsky. Which I think this is the Best Buy exclusive, I believe. Yeah, I think it is. I saw this on TV a long time ago. It wasn't half bad, so probably need to rewatch that at some point. And last but not least, we have No Country for Old Men. Best Picture winner 2007. This is another film, much like with Natural Born Killers and A Clockwork Orange, that deals with violence. People who commit the violence, those who are obsessed by it, and those who basically the bystanders. And you have Oscar-winning performance by Javier Bardem as the one who commits the acts. This is a very multi-layered film that really shines in the acting and writing department. And on top of that, you have good social commentary. This is the movie that Natural Born Killers was trying to be. It was trying to be something where it was trying to talk about it was trying to make a statement on violence and violent behaviors. Much like A Clockwork Orange before it, No Country for Old Men is great. And I heard through the grapevine that this film is getting a Criterion release. I'm not sure why, but it's fine. I don't mind. Okay, so as a bonus, I'm going to show you the movies that I have on the sides here, as well as the sides there. Mostly, I have them there for space reasons, so let's check this out. First, we have The Nut Job and Nut Job 2, Naughty by Nature. Kind of surprised this 2-pack doesn't have a Blu-ray, which is weird. But honestly, I really don't care, because the first one's okay. First one's okay, it's not bad. I've seen worse. I think it plays it safe, and it's too kiddish, and, you know, the story's very bland, but yeah, it was watchable. Nut Job 2, Naughty by Nature, on the other hand, oh, what a mess. Oh my god, the story is terrible. Ugh. Made in Manhattan and Fools Rush In, both rom-coms. I saw Made in Manhattan like so long ago, actually. So, yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen that one. Is that the one where she's like a maid in a hotel or something? Yeah, I was right. Fools Rush In, I have never seen. Glenn Campbell, I'll Be Me. After Glenn Campbell was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, he and his family decided to go on tour, a farewell tour. I actually heard of his tour I wanted to go, but I was unable to at the time. I don't remember why. And this documentary aired after he died, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, I should probably give this a watch. And it was pretty good. It was a pretty good documentary, very heartfelt at times, but yeah, pretty good movie. Actually, I can't really, I don't like country music at all. I really don't like country music whatsoever. I can't stand it. It's annoying. But Glen Campbell is someone I don't mind listening to sometimes. Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. I have a book. I've never read it. I have a movie. I've never seen it. This is directed by Clint Eastwood, right? Yeah, it is. I think it's like a murder mystery of sorts. I'm not sure. In the Shadow of a Moon. This is a documentary by Ron Howard about, well, he produced it, he didn't direct it, about the Apollo missions from 8 to 17. But only the ones that went, but only the successful ones. Apollo 13, I don't think is even mentioned. It doesn't have as much information as some other documentaries I've seen, but if you're a fan of space exploration and astronomy like I am, then you get a kick out of it. In the back here, we have Spy Kids 3D Game Over. Okay. Yeah, I remember this when I was younger. I saw this in theaters in 3D. I believe the 3D glasses are still in here. I believe. Let me check. Because I remember saving these. Yes, the 3D glasses are still here. I still have them. But like if you try to watch this nowadays, you're not going to get the full 3D effect. Which sucks, because this movie... Yeah, it's one of those... Pretty. You know, it's like one of those ones that a nostalgia critic makes fun of. But, yeah, it's pretty good. Salem's Lot. I don't even know why I have this. When I saw this movie, it just looked like Stephen King's Dracula to me. Wasn't really a big fan of this one. But I did hear that there is a TV show that's on Max. So I may check it out. Maybe. This is what I was talking about earlier. When We Left Earth, the NASA missions. So this is a great Discovery Channel documentary series on space exploration. And it's kind of interesting because it talks about space exploration in several different chunks. So the first episode is focusing on the early space missions. So the Star Sputnik 1 and going to, I think, Project Mercury. Friends and Rivals talks about Project Gemini. Landing the Eagle talks about the moon missions. Explorers talking about the Apollo Soyuz project and some other stuff. I'm just going off of memory here. The shuttle is talking about the space shuttle, and A Home in Space is talking about the International Space Station. Love these. I used to watch these quite a bit. I remember watching these in high school. And yeah, love them. Great. Grizzly Man. This is a Werner Herzog documentary about Timothy Treadwell, who he lived with the bears in the wilderness for many years, and he tried, or at least attempted, to help people understand the majestic beauty of these creatures. If you know anything about him, you know what happens, but it's a really great documentary. Next is Derailed with Clive Owen and Jennifer Aniston. I have not seen this, so I have no idea what this is. Looks interesting, though. Next up, we have The Story of Star Wars. So, if you bought Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith at Walmart, you would get this DVD as a bonus. And basically what it is essentially C-3PO and R2-D2 recaps the other movies. So they talk about the original trilogy and then episodes 1 and 2. Now, the one weird thing about this movie is that all the clips are in full screen. Yep, 4x3. Worse, the special edition from 1997 is used for the original trilogy. Don't ask me why, but yeah, this is kind of interesting to kind of pop on in the background, so I guess it's worth. Bats Entertainment, Treasures from the Vault, bonus disc. I'll get back to this one when I talk about the Bats Entertainment movies, so I'll come back to that. Heroes of Iwo Jima. This also came from a box set talking about the Battle of Iwo Jima during World War II, and this came in a box set that had Flags Above Flowers and Letters from Iwo Jima, both directed by Clint Eastwood. Now, I have Flags Above Flowers, but I don't have the other one. So when I get that, I will definitely watch this. Dougal. Oh my god. This is the best, worst movie that I saw as a kid. Okay, so I saw this in theaters. I saw this movie, and oh my god, I remember loving the hell out of this movie. My mom took me to see this like 3 times, and yeah, it was bad. It was bad. It was bad, but I loved it. And yes, I'm perfectly well aware of this is the American version of a film called The Magic Roundabout. But dear God, I was loving this movie as a kid. Although I remember there's one line in this movie that made me laugh out loud. It was where the villain of the movie mentioned Thomas the Tank Engine. That made me laugh. That made me laugh. And I know it's problematic, but I didn't care. You know, I was a kid. Reservation Road with Joaquin Phoenix, Mark Ruffalo, Jennifer Connelly, and Maria Sorvino. I don't know what this is about. Again, it's another film I blind bought a long time ago. Yes. You know, I tried to get rid of this. I really tried. Battlefield Earth is so bad. I mean, you're probably thinking, why do I have this movie? You know, I don't know. This movie is so horrifically bad. I've seen this, I saw this once before, and man, is it bad? Okay, so remember when I was talking about Mulan and how that movie had one of the worst sequels of all time? I mean, the basically undoing everything that was established in the first film, the making the characters we like unlikable, rubbery animation, all that. Well, that is nothing compared to Battlefield Earth. I can't tell if it's worse than Mulan 2 or what, but this movie, oh my god. Okay, so the biggest problems with this movie are, A, the story makes no sense. It's completely backwards, completely broken, and not really that interesting. 2, it has one of the worst pieces of cinematography ever. It overuses one angle throughout the entire movie, which is the Dutch angle, which is basically... that's what a Dutch angle is. Tilting the camera slightly on its side. This is how it is throughout the entire movie. So I hope you enjoy the feeling of a movie sinking the entire time, because it doesn't create atmosphere whatsoever. It just creates complete annoyance. And you have overacting across the board. You have really terrible writing choices. There was no thought put into this at all. There just wasn't. And this is one of the worst movies ever made, and it's really bad. It is bad. I'm not gonna take these out right now, but basically, we have I Want a Dog for Christmas, Charlie Brown, which is, I talked about that before. We have a comic book of Alf in the back there. If I can take this out just to show you. This is a comic book of Alf that I found at an antique store. That's very cool. Well, I guess since it's out, I might as well talk about it. Yeah, I Want a Dog for Christmas, Charlie Brown. It's actually pretty decent. Pretty decent movie. Again, I've talked about this in my Christmas video when I was talking about the Peanut specials. Then we have the Les Miserables 25th anniversary concert. I really want the 10th anniversary concert. That was way better. Searching for Sugar Man, which I think I talked about that before. And up here we have, anyway, A Merry Friggin' Christmas. That's basically what it is. With Robin Williams. Yeah, this is actually a pretty decent movie. It's more in the spirit of like a Christmas story, where it's kind of, dealing with that sort of mean-spirited aspects of the holidays. It's not bad, but kind of like the idea of, taking his family to see his parents, or his dad is played by Robin Williams, and he basically realizes, oh crap, I realize I gotta get my kid's gift. I gotta go all the way back to my house, which is like a 6-hour drive, and then I got to get back in time, otherwise our son's Christmas will be ruined, yada yada yada. It's pretty decent. Pretty decent movie. Mickey's Twice Upon a Christmas. I liked Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas way better. This is decent. I'm not saying it's bad, but I just have an issue with like some of the stories. Some of the stories just aren't that great. There's a couple of them that are. I like the one where Huey, Dewey, and Louie are trying to get themselves on a nice list. I liked the one where, let's see if I can remember this correctly. Oh, I remember now. Okay. So, there was a story where Pluto was, kind of being, I don't know, he wasn't, I'm trying to remember what happened. It's gonna drive me crazy now. It was something where Pluto was being sort of a menace, but he wasn't like, it was something with Mickey and Pluto. It was one of those stories where Pluto was not trying to be nice, but also not being nice, and Mickey, basically kicks him out, and stuff happens. Yeah, I don't remember this. I couldn't even tell you, because I'm not the biggest nut of that one. I think it's just okay. And then we get to this section down there. I'm gonna try not make a mess, because this was carefully arranged. So first we have Elvis Aloha from Hawaii. So this was the Aloha in Hawaii special that Elvis did in 1973. It was broadcast via satellite all across the globe, and reportedly 1 billion people saw it. This was a triumph for Elvis because he needed some kind of thing to inspire him, and this was his meal ticket, basically. And it was a success. He shaped up, he lost weight, his voice was incredible in the special, and it was considered, in my view, the last great triumph for Elvis. And this DVD, he actually did 2 shows. So he did one that was to be recorded, that was to be for the special, the OR from Hawaii special, when it aired in April, and a alternate show that was recorded just in case anything went wrong with the actual broadcast. Nothing went wrong that night, and this is an incredible. I seriously wish I had the 68 comeback special. I used to have it, but I don't have it anymore. I lost it, and that sucks, because I'm missing a big piece of Elvis history in my collection, so that really sucks. Take these out. That's probably going to be a pain. Okay. These are really tight. Honky Tonk Man with Clint Eastwood and his son Kyle. Whatever happened to him? Whatever happened to Kyle Eastwood? Whatever happened to him? No, I do not remember that movie at all. Garbo. This is a great documentary by Turner Classic Movies about Greta Garbo, and how, she's more kind of complex than you think. So, around 1941, she did this movie called A Two-Faced Woman, and it was such a flop that, she basically retired from the screen entirely. She didn't want the public to see her mature, and so she basically retreated and secluded herself in New York for many, many years, and she never did another movie again. And this kind of explores her career, so starting, when she was young, her silent films, and her first talkie, Garbo Talks. I'm blanking on what movie that was, but basically, she spoke to her first talking scene, and the audience's first exposure to her voice and what she sounded like was her asking a bartender for whiskey, I believe. And she's kind of an interesting woman. She's kind of a very interesting actress. And yeah, check this out. Hit the Deck from 1955, I think? Yeah, 1955. So, yeah, this is... Actually, I haven't seen this all the way through, but I know of it. Jane Powell, Debbie Reynolds, Tony Martin, Walter Pidgeon, Vic Damone, Ann Miller. This film I saw on... It was mentioned in That's Entertainment. It's basically... There's a song in this movie, I think toward the end of the film, where they sing Hallelujah. And not the one you know, but... The Terror of Tiny Town from 1938. The only all-little person film. Yeah. Actually, you may recognize a few of these actors because all of them were in The Wizard of Oz. They were the same actors, basically. They played the Munchkins in Wizard of Oz. Yeah, this is the first and only all-little person film. Which is very interesting, considering that nobody knows of it. Nobody knows of that movie. Next, we have a... Why is this upside down? Anyway. Next, we have a Pirates of the Caribbean The Lost Disc. So basically, this was some bonus disc that I just happened to have found at this one record store. Just kind of out of the blue. It was like $3. But anyway, so this has basically a bunch of bonus documentaries that I think were left out of the regular release. So, yeah, I wonder if these have been issued on Blu-ray. I wonder. Yay! Mask with Cher and Sam Elliott. I don't remember this one, to be quite honest with you. I don't remember this one. Oh, Peter Bogdanovich directed. Okay. Yeah, Next is Arthur Christmas. Oh, I saw this last year. You know what, honestly, I did actually kind of enjoy this. The idea of, Santa Claus and the advances in technology and how the power of inspiration in this mailman, delivery, mail person named Arthur, he actually inspires everyone around him to be like, to still carry on the tradition of giving gifts, even though, you missed one gift, how could you do that in this high-tech spaceship, like high-tech military, Christmas military operation, like, how do you do that? Oh, it's great. Who made this? Aardman, really? Wow, cool. Okay, nice. And speaking of more Christmas stuff, there's all my Christmas stuff kind of organized here, but just to kind of give you the rest of the tour. We have Four Christmases with Vince Vaughn and Reese Witherspoon, which is pretty decent. Not a bad movie. Could be better, but also could be worse. Kind of the idea of, this married couple that tries to avoid Christmas every year, but then they're forced to confront it. How the Grinch Stole Christmas, I had to get myself a new copy because my copy basically was a really bad transfer. And my mom was actually the first one to notice it. She's like, why is the Grinch orange? He's supposed to be green. And I'm like, yeah. So it was just a really bad transfer. Santa Claus the movie, which was actually kind of decent. Actually kind of a decent movie. Not bad film with Dudley Moore, John Lithgow, and I'm blanking on who plays Santa Claus in this one. David Huddleston, yeah. Not a bad movie. Not a bad movie at all. And the Santa Claus. I've seen the first one. I think the first film's good. I saw the second one. The second one I think is my favorite of the two. But I could be wrong though. And I have not seen the third one yet. But kind of the idea of a guy who puts on a Santa suit, accidentally knocking viewers on Santa Claus Out Cold, and then he realizes, oh, because he put the suit on, he's now the new Santa Claus, and he has to hide it from everybody. Now this is another one of these Walt Disney treasures. Adventures of Spin and Marty. So these actually came in a tin. That's kind of what they look like. I only have a couple of these in the tin, but I don't have very many. Yeah, I don't even know who Spin and Marty actually is. I think they were a part of Mickey Mouse Club, but I have absolutely no idea. I just don't even bother watching it because I don't even know who they are. That is it for shelf number 5. It was surprisingly long. I didn't expect it to be long. But anyway, so until next time, I will see all of you later.